One of the most popular and likely theories in Black Clover is that Luck and Charlotte are half siblings. But what if I told you that this theory of a family tree can be branched even further and even extends to William Vangeance, making him a possible half sibling to Luck and Charlotte as well. And from here, William also being half brothers with that of Finral. I mean, just think about it. If Charlotte's dad has plant magic and Finral's mom has spatial magic, the combination of those two would equate to World Tree magic that William has, because the World Tree allows him to connect to different realms, acting like a combination of spatial and plant magic. Though, there's actually a lot of evidence into this theory that I actually stumbled upon accidentally, funnily enough. But I think it's a very likely theory that William is a sibling to Luck and Charlotte, and it is somewhat possible that Finral and William are also half-brothers. So I'm going to delve deep into this theory, but first I want to let you guys know that you should stay tuned to the end of this video, because I'm going to talk about my light novel that's releasing this Saturday. It's a series that will be releasing weekly chapters, but I'm going to have more than one chapter on the launch website, and that'll be my light novel called 9 Fates, and it'll be at 9fates.com. I almost have the website ready, I have all the chapters written, but yeah, so stay tuned to the end of the video if you want to know more about that. So I'm going to start first by explaining the relationship between Luck and Charlotte, as them being brother and sister is kind of all but confirmed at this point. This stems from the fact that the elves, Charla and Lefuru, the two elves who possessed Luck and Charlotte, are brother and sister. That not only the two actually look like they could be related, but also Droa and Eklet are also a brother and sister, just like Gauche and Marie are brother and sister. So it stands to reason that if Gauche and Marie are siblings, and Droa and Eklet are siblings, then that if Charla and Lefuru are siblings, that means that Charlotte and Luck must be siblings as well. Now, a common debunk that even I had made for this Charlotte and Luck sibling theory, it's actually not that credible of a debunk, and that was that Patri and Ratri are cousins, but there was never any mention of William and Longrus being cousins. This is actually a terrible debunk in my opinion. I can't believe I ever used this as a possible argument. It'd be different if we knew that Longrus and William weren't cousins, but we don't know if they are or aren't. And the fact that they both hail from established noble families, it actually makes it plausible, since nobles will always try and marry other nobles. But there's actually far more evidence to look into when you really dig deep. For example, when you look at Luck's grimoire, even though it is a lightning grimoire, it is filled with berries. Berries and roses actually fall under the same family of species. I really don't think this is just randomly put there. Remember, this is a lightning grimoire for a lightning mage. Putting berries there is actually very damning evidence for this theory. Also, it is most likely that Luck's father is then the male head of the House of Roselei. This is because we have seen his mother, and Luck and his mother look alike. And it makes more sense for him to be the son of Roselei, especially when you add in the context that also ties William into this theory. Now, if you're still here, then you definitely like the video, so please do leave a like if you enjoy. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications. You can also join my Discord and follow me on Twitter, linked down below. So we know that William is the bastard child of a certain noble, and was left to live in the Forsaken Realm until he was 8 years old. But then his father had lost his only male heir, and that is what then forced William back into the royal house, where he was treated like shit. Partially because he was cursed, and it is stated they viewed his World Tree magic as a curiosity, probably because he was joining a house of plant mages, Roselei House. Now, it's important to note that William and Luck are 8 years apart. This means it could be entirely possible, in my opinion, likely, is that it was Luck that was the male heir that was lost, and it was his mother that took him away from House of Roselei. Charlotte states that she only has one sibling, and that is Lefuru. So what if Charlotte believes she only has one sibling, or had one, and that was Luck, and she has no idea that he's actually Luck Voltia of the Black Bulls? She just thinks that her long-lost brother is just still out there somewhere. But it makes sense. Luck and William are both 8 years apart. There was an heir lost when William was 8 years old. I think it was baby Luck being taken back from Luck's mom. What I think here is that whoever Papa Roselei married, either she has trouble having kids or can't have kids after Charlotte, and therefore he has to have, get with other women to create a male heir. And so when he lost Luck, he had to recall William, because that was his blood. What really strikes me is William's outfit change once he rejoined the noble house to be the male heir. He goes a blue outfit with what seem to be plant-based pins on his outfit. Now, the Order of the Blue Rose Knights actually exists prior to that of Charlotte being a captain, so it isn't like she created the squad herself. She was in the Blue Rose Knight squad, even as just a rookie magic knight. This likely means that the House of Roselei was the noble house in charge of the squad, and that blue is one of their colors, We know that most squads should be filled with nobles, as it hasn't been that long since Zora's father, was the first ever commoner to join them. And that was maybe, what, a decade ago in the story? So then this makes me think that William is wearing Roselei garb. Again, his father stated to be a certain noble. Papa Roselei is a noble. William has World Tree magic, a plant-based magic, and Papa Roselei should also have a plant-based magic. He wears a garb of similar color to the Roselei with plant-based pins on his outfit. William was 8 years old when he was brought back, and thanks to that of a male heir being lost, and that lines up perfectly with Luck's age. Charlotte only has a singular brother, meaning that she does not have other siblings that she knows of. This lines up with Luck if he's lost, and then there's no other males that could take his place besides William. Also, if you just look at Luck, he has strong magic for supposedly being a nobody. His father being Papa Roselei will make him a noble and explain his power, and could explain why his mother was so happy when he defeated a noble in battle. And so because of all of this, I think it does add up to perfectly that Luck, Charlotte, and William are all half siblings, all sharing the father of Papa Roselei. And what it might be is that William, his World Tree magic is just a plant magic mixed with the curse of his mother's clan. Because remember, he is cursed, it's from his mother's clan. And so maybe it is just cursed plant magic that creates a World Tree magic. It is even shown that the wife of William's father is a blonde, meaning that it is very well possible that that could be Charlotte's mother. And again, Charlotte being an only child would cause it to make a lot of sense why her squad is so female-oriented. And now as for Finral, I have a few interesting reasons as to why he shares a mother with William, and that makes them half-brothers. But it wouldn't make Finral half-brothers with the other two, it would just make only William and Finral half-brothers. So, if you just think of these two characters, what do they have in common besides their beautiful purple eyes? Well, they're both cursed. Wait a second, you might be coming for me.
But Broku, Finral isn't cursed.
And well, there is actually evidence that he is cursed, though it was portrayed as a joke. It has been stated that Finral is cursed in the way that he acts around beautiful women. It does seemingly take over him. I mean, he has the beautiful woman of his dreams, but he still can't contain himself around other women. Most guys that I know, if they literally got their dream girl, they would not be fawning over other girls. Finral is cursed, guys, and so is William. Remember when they said that Yuno was just a meal-saving prince, and he turned out to be a prince? I think that this joke curse on Finral is going to be an actual curse. So you have Finral's curse, and then you have William's curse, and that means they both got it from their mother's clan. It would make sense why both William and Finral are cursed, not Langris, because Langris is a different mother, and William and Finral are cursed. They inherit the purple eyes from the mother. And if you look at it, Langris has the same blue eyes as Finral's father, but Finral has purple eyes. I think it's because he got it from his mother. Like I said earlier in this video, if Finral's mother has spatial magic, which could make sense if she was marrying into a spatial mage family, and why Finral got just spatial magic and not offensive spatial magic, because he took his mother's side of the spatial magic, and you pair plant magic with spatial magic and maybe even the curse, and that's how you get arcane World Tree magic. This could also explain the reason for the early death of Finral's mother. Maybe her curse was different. It hands out a different curse to each person. William just got cursed with a scar on the face. Finral just got cursed around women, but this curse for Finral's mother just killed her early on. And one thing that curse could be is we know that it could be possible that the houses of spatial magic did a deal with Magicula long ago, and that might be a part of the deal, is that some members will be cursed. And that is maybe what happened with Finral's mom. She was a dreg of that curse that was been passed down and bestowed onto her. So overall with this theory, I think that, it's I would say it's like 99.9% that Luck and Charlotte are siblings. And I would say, to me, it's like 85% I'm convinced that William is siblings to them as well. And now for the Finral thing, honestly, I think that is a bit of a stretch. Even though it does work with creating that magic type of arcane World Tree magic, I'm still at like 50-50 on that theory. But there is evidence to support it. Like I said, it perfectly explains how William's World Tree magic was created, being the combination of the plant magic of the Roselei's, spatial magic, and possibly even curse from his mother that made it arcane. Even on William's grimoire, it shows a gate, which is similar to types of other spatial magic. You have to remember that William's World Tree magic is Yggdrasil. It acts as the World Tree Yggdrasil from Norse mythology, where its branches connect the realms. William's World Tree magic is part of the ritual that connects the physical world to the underworld. So much is explained in this theory, and what happens for theory crafting for me a lot of the time is that when I get onto one theory, it leads to the trails of another theory. And so this whole theory has led me to a whole other theory on Luck, and what family he might hail from. what the mother's family is, that could be really interesting and might remind you of a very old video of mine. Now, one thing I do want to say about this theory is we don't know if Finral's mother has spatial magic. It hasn't been stated, and that is kind of why I think that the Finral connection is less likely. Another thing is that William's last name is Vangeance, but he could have changed that, because you can change your name, especially, if you're noble blood, you should be able to change it. And maybe this is because he just changing his name, and then if Papa Roselei dies, he will become the head of that house. But Vangeance, it's so close to vengeance, and that's what William is helping Patri do. I think that William just changed his name to Vangeance, and Vangeance is just a play on vengeance, because he's bringing vengeance to Patri and the elves. So that is what I think for this entire theory. Like I said, very likely Luck and Charlotte are. I think it's pretty likely that William is, but Finral, that's kind of 50-50 for me, if not maybe even less. But I like the connections there. Now, we're going to talk about my light novel. It's coming out. I created my own website called 9fates.com to host my own light novel series, 9 Fates. It's a dark science fantasy light novel series, and I've been, teasing the main characters. And so basically this Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to make the website go live. It will have the first 3 chapters of the story where you can go read for free, and then it's going to have a short story that takes place in the universe. And so basically what my upload schedule for this is every Saturday at 10 in the morning, I'm going to release a new chapter. And every other week, I'll release 2 chapters. One chapter that takes place in the 9 Fates story. The other chapter takes place just in the universe as a one-shot short story. So this is my light novel series I've been working on. It takes place in my universe I've been creating for a long time. Or the universe, I call it, well, it's actually a multiverse called Ymirheim. I'm excited, so do stay tuned for that. I will, create a community post tab. And then my next video, I'll shout it out again. It's just 9fates.com. It's super easy to find. It's just not live yet, so if you try now, it is, well, I think it's like an error page. But so yeah, it's a fantasy, I'd say a dark science fantasy. Kind of starts off as just fantasy, slowly morphs into a dark fantasy, and then slowly morphs even higher into a dark science fantasy, because I like combining fantasy and sci-fi. It's one of the reasons why I think Star Wars is so good. But the story is basically 4 main characters getting together. If they go on a quest, you have the main character Sigmund, a Viking who was raised by elves, his brother Thamael, who is an elf, and then Galadrex, a mage who is related to a Jotun, and then a human wizard who serves the Allfather Odin and uses part of her power. She's like a champion of Odin. And they have to go on this quest to gather the 9 seals of fate from each of the 9 realms. When they're gathered, the gods of fate will grant them a wish, and their wish will be to prevent Ragnarok. And basically, each character that's in this party will get a wish, and so all these other characters, they have wishes. So that's just kind of a little bit of a plot synopsis. I will have, a lot more details to going on, and, the series is going to release very soon. So yeah, there's going to be a new chapter every single week, and there's going to be an art piece for each chapter created by Polsky Art. And then I want to get to the point where it's 2 chapters a week every single week, and it just really depends on how it goes. And then a lot of people have been excited, like, oh, hopefully this becomes an anime, hopefully it becomes a manga. And so basically, as it is now, it's just a light novel series, but I will eventually release physical copies you can buy and support the series. And then if that does well, then I can, maybe get it with Polsky Art. We can turn this into, actually adapt it into a manga. And then, getting into an anime, that'd be a very hard process. But I guess that could be a really, 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 really long from time now end goal to get a 9 Fates adapted into an anime. But I think a manga is definitely doable, but anime, that's a lot of money, a lot of work. Manga is definitely a lot more doable. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below this video and my light novel coming out. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...